I'm Delynn Gaston with WeBeam TV, and we are here at the Orlando Home Show. So if you are out there, come on down. It's a great place. Right now, I have with me Chi, who is from Florida Financial Advisors. Thanks for being on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So, Florida Financial Advisors, for those of you who don't know, we've interviewed some of their consultants at some of the home shows. She's not wearing any pants right now. It's kind
Nope.
of
We're in boxers.
So she tell us about that. They're in their boxers.
Yep.
Tell us. Let's start there. So why do you guys walk around in your boxers?
So, a lot of companies like to raise awareness, and that's what we're trying to do. We found that in our industry, we meet a lot of people who, once they hit retirement, they get caught with their pants down. So 1 in 3 people actually we found that have no idea what's going on in retirement, and we're really trying to make people understand that it's not that difficult. All you need is the right guidance and to have the right mindset to make sure that once you do hit retirement, you have all the pieces in place, if you will, to make sure you don't have to go back to work and you can enjoy the rest of your life.
So that brings up a really good point. So the client, so to speak, that you guys are looking for is not necessarily someone who is of retirement age right now, but you're looking for people probably your own age. If you are working and a young person, I would imagine the younger you start, the better off you'll be in your retirement years.
So, that is a fair point, but we are comprehensive planners. So not only do we work with younger people and get a plan in place, but we also help people at retirement age. We don't have a specific clientele that we like to target. The benefit of working with us is because we're independent, we're able to make sure that, if you're working with one particular product, I don't have any products to sell you. I can choose any product under the sun. And that kind of helps people realize that they're not handcuffed to these funds or investment options that they've been working for with years. And we found that a lot of people closer to retirement age, it's really time to gear up for that day, gear up to have no income from work. And a lot of people we work with like that really appreciate that we're independent by nature because of
So
that.
if you, so let's just walk through like pretty much an example, so to speak. So you meet somebody and maybe they're 50 years old right now, and their plan is probably sometime in the next 15 years. They're going to be retiring. Maybe they're in their 50s, 10 to 15 years, we'll say. And that's kind of their plan. And they know that, they've been working their whole life. They have Social Security coming in. Most of the time, that's not enough to be able to meet their needs or their wants in life. What would be something that you would guide them on?
That's a great question. So first of all, that age past 50, I feel like is the right age to make sure the past 20, 30 years, you've grown your assets a lot. You're working to grow your 401k, your retirement accounts and everything. Is it time to maybe look into transitioning into more of a conservative standpoint to make sure everything you've worked so hard for, are we in a place right now that we want to protect it? But the other side of the book for that is we don't want to protect it in a way that it's just staying stagnant. We want to make sure that we're giving it the opportunity to grow. But also, how do we eliminate the risk for when the market crashes happen? It's something like '08 happens. How do we protect ourselves from making sure everything we worked hard for is not being lost? On the other hand of that, as we are comprehensive financial planners, we also look at the tax side of things. So you mentioned Social Security, and a lot of people don't think about the taxes on Social Securities. On the other hand, there's something called RMDs. Those are required minimum distributions. So essentially, everything you've saved pre-tax, such as your 401k or if you have a pension, once you hit the age of 70 and a half, the government's going to force out a percentage of that money to tax you on it. Now, on top of your Social Security, if you're being forced out this money that you might not need because your living expenses are low, you're going to have to pay taxes more than you should. So we find strategies to how do we diversify between the different tax liabilities to make sure you're not being excessively taxed,
So you think that the government would excessively tax us?
The government's got to get theirs, right?
Not the government.
Right.
They won't. They wouldn't do that to us
Not
70
good
and a
old-
half year old people.
Not good old Uncle Sam.
So I know. But you bring up a really good point that I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people think about, all that money that you are putting in your 401k or whatever, and it is going to start getting taxed.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that there were different things that
Yeah.
you can do to perhaps
Mhm.
minimize some of that tax that you're going to
Yeah,
do.
that's where we step in, and that's a lot of value that we can add. So we've seen with people, we've been able to save between 20-25% in taxes alone. Let's say that's 15 to 20 grand every year on year. That's a lot of money that's going
a
back
lot
in
of
your
money.
Yeah, that's
Right.
and that's your money. Why should you be giving it up when you don't need to?
To Uncle Sam.
Exactly.
Uncle Sam's got enough of his own money.
Exactly. And the other part of that is so Social Security, like we were talking about, many people think that's tax free, and that is not true. There's income thresholds that you can meet for it to be tax free. But if you exceed that limit when not a lot of people need to, that Social Security is going to get taxed too. And we have ways in which we can diversify those taxes to make sure that your income for the year is under that threshold as much as possible. That way, Social Security, which already you've paid taxes on, you don't have to pay more taxes on.
Well, that's not fair. You're
Ex-
right. I don't
yeah.
think people realize that at all. I
Yeah.
certainly didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
it is
I thought it was
something of a
tax-free.
eye opener. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I did know that if you make more than a certain amount, obviously your other income
Mhm.
gets taxed, but I didn't know they can go and start taxing on your Social Security.
Yeah, which
too.
already you've paid taxes on. Why do you need?
Yes, why are you paying it twice?
Yeah. So that
So
is
not fair.
that is the benefit of our firm as a comprehensive planners. We do
Nice.
look at every piece of the puzzle, not just your investments. We want to make sure. I like to say, think of it like a rowboat. If one side of the boat is rowing one way while the other side is rowing the other way, you're just going in circles.
Right.
Why not, combine forces and make sure you're going in the right direction for your
right
goals?
direction. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that was an eye opener for me.
Yep,
Thank you, Chi. I
course.
appreciate that.
Appreciate
now,
the
how
time.
can tell us how people can reach you?
So you can go email me on my email. It's just my first name last name at floridafa.com. Or
There
you
you
can
go.
visit our website, floridafa.com. There's a ton of free information over there about stuff that we just talked about. We have an extensive library of stuff. And
There you
they can
go.
always call me, 407-929-1202. I'm always on the clock. If it's after 9, though, you got to say you're Jay from State Farm. Otherwise, my wife gets a little mad. But other than that, I'm always available to help people out.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Chi.
Thank you
It's
so
been a
much for your
pleasure.
time.